Hi guys, and welcome to visualbasic.net access database connection. Okay, let me show you guys how this works. In this very project we can search. Let's assume we want to search for maybe Pius or Jonathan. Let's enter whatever you want to search for in there and click on the search button here. There we go, we can see Pius there. Okay, and we can even add. Let's assume we want to add. Let's reset, click on reset, add new data in there, and let's say who we want to add is going to be as a reference number, and the name is Alan Morehouse, and underneath here we have the address Norman Close, postcode, telephone number. All we then need to do is just to click on add, and we should be able to see the details of Alan right there. Click on OK. There we go, and let's scroll down. We should be able to see his details. There we go, that's the details of Alan. Okay, one other thing is we'll be able to see that very details on the access database itself. Okay, let's open up the database and double click on it, and right there that's Alan Morehouse details in there. Okay, we can close that. The other thing that we can do is we can delete. Let's assume we want to delete whatever details in here. Let's say we want to delete John Gambino. Let's come in here, delete John Gambino. There we go, John Gambino is off the system now. So let's go straight into the database as well. Double click on the database, and John Gambino is gone. We only have Peter and Jonathan Gambino in there. Okay, so let's say we want to print out. Click on print. There we go. All they need to do is just to click on this print button there, and that is it. Supposing we want to update details. Okay, let's say we want to update the detail of Peter here. Alright, just change the student number to maybe that's the new student number. What we then need to do is take note of these guys. All we then need to do is to click on update, and that is Peter's details updated. And we can view, as you guys can see. Okay, we can exit. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to take you guys to Visual Basic Development Environment, and we'll put one of these together. Okay guys, let's exit out and start a new project. So click on exit. Yeah, alright, so in here we create new project and select Visual Basic. I'm going to give that a name. I will call it VB. Save access. I'm going to click on create, and there we go. Now I'm going to define the size of my form, so I'm going to make that 1300 by 788. There we go. Now let's go straight into the toolbox here, and inside the toolbox I'm going to select, let's go to the all window form, or Windows forms actually. Now come right down here, select panel. There we go. I'm going to drag a big panel here. Okay, that's my panel right there. So I'm going to change the color of that panel to something maybe cadet blue. Let's go to back color here. Let's type in cadet blue, or you can always search for it there. And I'll create another panel. Let's grab another one here. It's actually inherited the color of this very panel, so I'm going to change the color of this very one. So let's come in and change the color to control. So control is the default color, so I'm just gonna drag it along. Now hold on to your control and just copy this very one, and let's copy that again, reduce the size of this, and this one I'm going to change the size of this to about 882 by 576. And the other one, let's come in here, that is it right here, just bring it out. Okay, that will do. And I am now going to copy that very one. Control, hold on to the control, click and drag, and then just bring it down. Okay, that's fine. So I am now going to add, let's add the following. So first of all, let's come into the tools. I will need data grid view. Let's go right up, data grid view, there. Let's draw that here. Let's bring the data grid view down and drag it all the way. Alright, so I will also change the back color of that data grid view to something lighter. Let's come in here and just, button face, and the border, let's make that fix 3D. Let's go back in there. I need the border style fix 3D. Right, that is fine. Now let's come back in here. I then need labels, one label here, and I also need text box there. I'm going to change the size of both components. Just select them both and come right here. Let's change it to something a bit readable. Maybe 32. Let's make it 36. Right there. All I need is, I'm gonna need about 6 of those. And this one here, that is going to be student ID. Let's change the name of the other one to TXT student ID. This very one, TXT student ID there. Okay, so let's just select and copy to, and I need just 2 more now. Move this, just select there. I will realign it properly. Okay, that is fine. Now copy this, just put this here. Might as well just give that a name right away and forget it. So I'm going to call that maybe something to do with access database connection. Access database connect. Let's see. Alright, so that is fine. Let's make that one a bit bold. And this one, let's change that to first name. And the text content, that will be TXT first name. There. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to show to you guys now is, let's copy one of these and just bring it here. It's going to be here. I'm going to call that a search engine. So that'll be txt search. There we go. And here I'm going to need some buttons. So come straight to the toolbox here. Let's grab hold of buttons, then I can just speed it up. Add a button here. And let's change the font size to something readable as well. And we can just call that, I'm going to call that save instead of add data. You can call it add data, you can call it whatever you like. Save data, yep. Right. Okay, I suppose you guys get the whole idea, so I'm going to speed that up. We're going to need about 8 of those in there. There we go. So I'm going to speed up the development process and just get back to you guys shortly. Okay, that is it all done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the form. I want to get this form centered, then we run it and you guys see how that looks like. There we go. So click on run. Let's see. That's how it's looking now. Okay, so we can enter whatever I want to enter in there. Okay, before we do any other thing, let's end that. I'm going to double click on the form itself and let's come. First of all, let's add as follows, because you might not have the connector OLEDB in your system. So go to project here and you select manage NuGet package. Click on that and that opens up this browser for you. Click on this browser itself. So in that browser type in OLEDB and once that pops up, that is a system.data.oledb. Select that and click on install there and click on OK, and that is it. You're done with that. You now have your system.oldb whatever on your system. Just before I close that, if you notice here, you see the options. That's the description of what the OLDB does. Provide a collection of classes for OLDB. The commonly used type include system.oldb.command and so on. There we go. Okay, so it's good to know what they are used for. So I'm just going to more or less like cheat. I'm going to copy that. Now let's go in here, close that. We don't need it anymore. And up here inside your coding area, right on top of the public class form1, we need to then import the OLDB itself. There, that is it, imported. Okay, now before we carry out any other thing, I am going to first of all go in here. I'm going to open up Access Database. So let's select a new project entirely, and this one let's click on create, and here let's just give it a name. I will call it save database or save data. Close that. So I'm going to say VB save. There, save data. That's fine. VB save data, that's the name of my database. Click on create. Once that is created, I'm going to let's give this project a name first. I'm going to right click on the table there and I'm going to call it exactly the same name, VB save data. VB save data. That's all there is to that. And right click in there again, select design view. So my very first field, that is going to be student ID. Instead of making that as primary key, I'm going to disable the primary key and select data type is going to be short, and the next field is going to be first name. we have surname, we have address, then we have postcode, and finally I'm going to enter telephone. Yeah, that's cool. There. So I have all my fields in place, so save that, and I'm going to right click and just open the table itself. That is it. So let's close it. I don't have any use for it right now, so close that. Let's go straight to the server. Look at it, Server Explorer. If you don't have Server Explorer on your system, go to Windows and select Reset Window Layout, and then click on Yes. And that's the Server Explorer right there. So I'm going to select the Server Explorer, and right up here you see Connect to Database. Click on that. When you click on that, this dialog pops up, Add Connection. Click on, if you don't have Microsoft Database File OLEDB here, click on Change, and you just change it to whatever you want, but the default is Microsoft Access Database File OLEDB, so that's fine. So now click on the Browse. Inside the Browse, navigate to wherever you have your database. That's my database right there, VB Save Data. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this admin, and let's click on Test Connection. That is it. The connection is successful. Click on OK, and let's click on Advanced so that we can copy the location, the provided location. There we go. Look at it, provider Microsoft, so and so on. There we go. I'm going to copy that. That is the address that I need. Copy that. Copy. Click on OK, and click on OK again. There we go. That's my database. It's now connected to the Server Explorer right there. Okay, we're done with that. We can then minimize that. Let's double click on the form to get the database connected to the system. So I'm going to double click on the form. Let's go right underneath public here. First of all, I'm going to have to connect the following. So let's say dim connect as new OLEDB OLE. That will be connection. There we go. And I'm also going to dim CMD. That will be as OL command. Now let's get hold of the table. Dim DT as new data table, and dim DA as new, that will be OLEDB, that should be as OLEDB data adapter. Yep, that is fine. Let's get hold of, let's assign my command to it here. Private here, private bitmap as bitmap. I'm going to be using that for the printer. Okay, whatever we might need again, we will have to get hold of that. Okay, let's come into my form load here. So the way you can get into form load is just double click on the form, and that will bring you to form load. And now I want to connect this, so I'm going to say connect dot connection string there, and I will then say equals as follows: the location that I copied earlier. So just in case if you guys have forgotten this very location, you can always go back to your server, and that is it. Right click, properties, and that's the location, the connection string location. Look at it, just copy it. Okay, and that's what I've done. Alright, so now my data or the database should be connected to the system. Now the other thing that I want to do is I'm going to say txt search the text. I want the following text to appear on it. There. And I will also want the color of this text. I want it to kind of like look a little bit like silver color. So let's say dot for color. That will be equals color dot silver. There. Right. Okay, now I want to, let's do one thing to add data. I change this to add data. I'm going to change it back to save data. Save data, so that you guys should know you have to save the data. And I'm going to change the name as well to btn save data. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to double click on this. So I'm going to start by opening the database first. Connect dot open, and guess what, it has to be closed as well. So connect dot close. Yeah, in between, what I want to now do is I'm going to get a command that will be equals connect dot creates command, and let's say command dot command type. That will be equals command type dot text dot text. Right, so we also need the command. Let's come in here and say command dot command text, and the text that will go in there, that is going to be my SQL statement. That's insert into my database. Let's check out the name of my database again. Let's click that, and it's called VB save data. So minimize that, and in here enter VB save data. Right, so we want to enter the following. And if you guys can still recall, inside my VB save data I have, alright, this is how I VB save data. So right click and open up the design view. Inside the design view I need student ID. So I'm going to enter student ID in there. That's a comma. The next one is going to be first name, comma, surname, comma, address, post code, yeah, and telephone. We now need to add the values. So I'm going to come in here. Let's open up a bracket, and we'll say the values that we're talking about will be as follows. Okay, plus, and the very first value is going to be txt student ID dot text. That is my very first value. I'm going to press enter here, and here what we want is I'm going to enter a comma there. It's a comma. Okay, press, and the next one is going to be txt first name dot text. The first name dot text, and I'm going to say plus double quotes, single quotes, comma, single quotes. Right, and let's put another plus here and add the next one. So just grab hold of this, paste it here. The next one is going to be txt surname dot text. Paste that again. The next one in here is going to be txt address dot text. That's good. Paste that here, and this is going to be txt postcode dot text, and enter. Finally, I'm going to have here txt telephone dot text. Alright, and I have all my data in there, so I'm just gonna call this one. Let's close here and get rid of this. There, all the errors is gone now. Okay, I am now going to round up the command. I'll say command dot. That is going to be execute non-query. Let's look for execute non-query. Right, and underneath here, let me enter a message box that will kind of like confirm if everything is in process. So let's say message box dot show, let's say record saved. Okay, record saved, that's good enough. And I'm gonna say comma. Let's enter my title in there. That's a VB database, VB save database. Right, record save in VB save database, in VB saved in MS access. Right, so we have the first argument, the second argument, the third argument. I'm just going to call that message box buttons dot OK, and enter another argument that will be message box icon, message box icon. So that will be just an information. That is good. Okay, that's fine. So that is my ad taken care of. But supposing if I run into an error, I can always use a try catch there, but let me run it first and see if it's going to work anyway. So let's see, and enter some data in here, and a name in here. I'm going to call that Sally Moore, address of Sally Moore, Hilltop, postcode, telephone. Okay, and click on save. There, that means it's working. I'm gonna click on OK. So if I open up my database double click on this. I should be there. We go. That is it. Details of Salomon is right there. We'll close that. So that is fine. But like I said earlier on, it would be a wise idea to enter try, just in case if there's going to be any problem. Try, and underneath here I'm going to enter the cache statement in here. Cache, try cache if there's any problem. So I'm going to say ex as exception, and my exception statement, I'm going to grab hold of all of these statements in here and come right down here. First of all, we'll say end try, and my error statement will be as follows. And I'm going to get rid of all of this. Get rid of this one. So the error statement would be generated by the computer system. It says, so let's say ex dot message there, and the message box icon, I'm going to make that an arrow. Dot arrow. Yeah, that is fine. Let's try that out again. Click on run and enter another details, and the name is Tony Montana. Address, he lives in number 17 Little Venice. Postcode, telephone number, there. Click on save. There we go, saved. So we should have 2 records now on my database. Let's open up the database and see. Let's click on the database, double click on that. There we go, we have Tony Montana's details there as well. That's fine. So minimize that. Now what I want to try and achieve is, you see, when I click on this view button, or when this program loads, I want to be able to see all of the data within this data grid view. So I'm going to exit out. I'm going to create a function here, maybe up here. Let's create a function, and that very function, I'm going to call it, let's say private whatever, a private, I want to say SubViewer. There we go. And inside SubViewer, what I want to do is, let me grab hold of some data in here. So I'm going to first of all get it opened. Yeah, grab hold of all of this. I'm not going to need this. So just grab hold of up to here for now, and come right there, paste that in there. Grab hold of this. Come right down here, delete all of this. I'm going to say DA will be equals new OLEDB data adapter, and in there I'm going to ask you to select. Let's come in here, select, and that is select all from whatever name, the name of my database, that is it there, VB. Okay, VB save data. So in there I'm just going to say comma, enter my connect there. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to ask that my variable that is known as a DA, I'm going to say equals, now I want you to fill, now let's say dot fill DT. Alright, and DT, that is my table. Yeah, I do have that there. I will now assign whatever I have inside DT into my data grid view. So data grid view 1. So we say dot data source. That is going to be DT. Whatever DT has is stored in here. Finally, we close the connection. There we go. Okay, now let's copy this function. I'm going to paste it right inside form load. Form load is right directly underneath anyway, so come there, paste that there, and just save. Now let's run it and try it out just to see how that's going to look like. And right there, that's my data. That's very good. But guess what? I don't seem to like this. Maybe I'll find a way to just to move this. Yeah, why not? Okay, that's fine. So the view itself is working now. We can also just paste the view in here. So what I'm going to do in that case is I'm going to go back into my function here. I'm going to call this data grid view right underneath here. Let's say data grid view dot column. The very first one is always a 0, so I'm going to say 0 dot the width, and I'm going to make that about, let's say, 130. Okay, that would do. I think that might be too much, but let's see. So I'm going to copy it. I have 6 columns there, so that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to change this to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. So let's save and try that out one more time. So I'm going to click on run. There, look at that. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's good. So I like that. Okay, so the next thing we now want to do, let's close that. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it right inside my data grid. Right inside view. So click on view, paste that in view. So anytime we run it, we can just click on view if that's so that we actually display whatever we have in there. Okay, just something like that. Now let's do one thing. I'm going to say data source. I want you to refresh everything. Okay, so let's say dot data source, and that's the first time it will be nothing. There, and data grid view dot refresh. Okay, so hopefully that should take care of that. Okay, I've taken care of the view. Now let's go back in here. Let's take care of, we've already done this. Let's take care of update. Double click on update. With the update, I'm going to go to the save. I'm just going to copy everything I have in here. Copy and come right down here, paste that right there. And few, okay, we need to take care of this. The command in here will be update. So first thing first, let's delete everything we have in here and change that to update. The name of my database is VB updates VB save data, and I'm going to ask you to set my student ID. That will be equals single and double quote apostrophe, and let's say plus txt student ID dot text, and let's say plus double quote single where first name, that will be equals plus txt first name dot text. So what will happen in there is that we just correct whatever update that I want. Double quote and surname. Let's say and surname in there. Surname equals single double quotes plus txt surname dot text plus single and double. There we go. That is it. Done. And right here I'm just going to change this one to record updated successfully. So there we go. Alright, so let's do one more thing. Here I'm going to call the viewer. So once it's updated, let's call my viewer in there. That is it. That's a function. I'm calling that. Alright, I'm going to also devise another thing. But first, before I can try this out, let's go into my data grid view here. This very one, select that. I'm going to go straight into the properties of that. I want to, so that I can click on the data grid view and then add everything back here. Then I can carry out one or two changes. So now right here, double click on that and there. So right in here I'm going to use try. Let's say try cache if there's any error. Now let's say txt student id dot text should be stored whatever value we have inside data grid view 1 in column 0 dot select role. Okay, the role in this case is 0 dot cells, and that is cell 0 dot value. Okay, then let's say dot to string. So that is the very first one taken care of. So when I click on that, once I click on that row, all of these values will be stored on the text box. So copy that and change that for the others. Okay, we have 6. So this one will become first name. Then here we have surname. And here that will be address. Here I'm going to check that is postcode. And finally we have telephone here. Okay, now this will be 0, this one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And my error handler here. So let's just paste that in there if there's any error. And that's it. So just for your information, the event used is called cell click. So let's try that out now. I'm going to run it. When I click on any of the cell, I should be able to view all of the data on my system, on the text box. So let's click on this. There we go. Look at that. And supposing we want to change this of Sally to something like that, you just click on update, click on yes. Okay, as you can see, it updated, but it actually reproduces itself again. So we need to do something about that. Look at it, that's the update there. So the update works. You see the search function, double click on the search button. I'm going to copy all of these from the updates, grab all of those and paste it inside my search function here. Now all I just want to change inside the search function will be as follows. I'm going to now delete. You see here, I'm going to change everything in here to select. Let's say select from, that will be all from my system, where the student ID, instead of set, that will be where the student ID is equals as follows. And here where it says where we have first name, I'm going to change that to all. First name equals that. And here as well, I'm going to change that to all as well. So that takes care of that. Now we get it execute non-query, close the database. But I'm not just going to close the database straight away. I am going to, let's say I want the DT, that will be equals new data table, add parenthesis, and DA, I think I have that up here somewhere inside the search here. DA, grab hold of my DA, but in this case that's going to be command. I'm going to need this as well, so just grab hold of those two, bring them down. Yeah, we got the search in there, so get rid of this. That should just be okay. Now paste that in here and get rid of all of this, and that will just be command there. And the DA field, okay, then we have, okay, let's do one more thing. Supposing there's empty data in there. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to say data grid view 1 dot data source, and the data source is going to be DT. Good. But up here, let's declare a variable before I can go any further. I'm going to say dim. I'm going to call it checkers. Checker as integer. Right. If checker is an integer, let's come right down here underneath here. I'm going to say checker, that will be equals, convert whatever is in there to integer. So let's say dot to integer 32, whatever we have inside dt dot rows dot count dot to string there. Okay, so far it's looking good. Then we can now close it, and here I'm now going to use a message box in there. Let's use an if statement. If checker equals 0, then we want the following. I want the message box to display, and here I also want that my text box, let's say txt search dot text, that will be equals search, and underneath let's just say end if. Yeah, so I'm going to delete this message box because that will actually pop up anytime I click on that search. So I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's run it and you see. Here we go. There. So in here I'm going to type in, let's type in the code of Tony Montana. I'll just type in Tony in there, and if I click on this, you see that message box pops up, and I click on OK. It's not displaying Tony Montana. So I'm going to come right here, get rid of that, and save that. Okay, now that the message box is gone, let's do one thing. Let's try it out again. Run. So okay, I'm going to enter, maybe enter 7684 in there and click on search. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That is working. Now the message box does not display anymore. That is good. Now before I then close this, I want to, you see this update, I'm going to add a search into it. I just want to play a trick that will make it change and only shows the data that we have on our system. So I'm going to now exit out. Okay, you can see it updated. So I'm going to go inside. I'm going to copy this. Okay, we call it inside updates. Go to updates, double click on update. Right, and right underneath here, this is update. Right underneath the message, I'm going to call that function in there. Now I'm going to say new object. Right, double click on that, comma, new event argue. Just copy this, paste that in there. There we go. Right, I believe that should do it. Okay, so it's gonna search at the same time, kind of like look for and re-upload. Let me save that. Run. Okay, that is fine. Now let's take care of the deletes. Then the delete will always delete the excess that we might have in there. So let's come in here, double click on delete. Now inside the delete, I'm going to copy as follows. Yeah, let's just copy all of these here. And now let's go into, I'm going to copy inside, copy all of this, and go right down there, paste it in the delete. Now we're going to change all of these here. So change this one to delete. Okay, delete all from my table where the student ID, where the student ID is this, the txt. Okay, and yeah, let's just do it for student ID alone. Then I'm just going to end this here. Yeah, that should take care of my delete and get the system run. Delete this as well, and command that will execute, and we close it. A message box to display record successfully deleted. Let's delete that. Record successfully deleted. Okay, so information, and I'm gonna call that. Yeah, that's fine. Viewer is called. However, I also need to clear every single text box in there. So let's do this. Come right down here. I'm down, and I'm going to say txt student ID dot text that is clear. Okay, right. Let's repeat the same thing for the others. Then we have first name clear, txt surname, txt address, clear that, txt postcode, clear, txt telephone, and clear that as well. Okay, so I'm going to do one thing, copy this just in case if there's any error I want this closed. I think I'm going to repeat the same thing for everyone here. The database should be closed here as well. I think there. Alright, so all of that is done. That is my delete function. Okay, so guess what? If I delete it, I also want my text box. Okay, the search text box, I want it. So let's come in here. I don't want that empty. txt search.text, that will be equals search there. So that is fine. And guess what? This can be used for the reset. So I'm going to copy all of that and double click on reset and paste that in there. So reset is taken care of. Now reset is done. We have print and exit. So let's take care of exit first. In exit, let's say dim I exit as dialog results, and I exit, that will be equals the following message. So let's go and grab the message box that I have in there already. Grab all of this and just paste that in here. And the message, I'm going to change that to confirm if you want to exit. Right, so that is good. That takes care of that. Then I'm going to use an if statement here. If I exit equals dialog results dot yes, let's say dot yes. Okay, then so which means this one should be yes or no, dot yes or no here. Then you say application dot exit dot exit. So that takes care of the exit statement. Okay, so the good thing about this is it will always prompt the user to confirm if they want to exit or not, should in case if you mistakenly click on the exits unknowingly. So let's run that and see how that works. Alright, so we've done delete. Now let's go to, let's click on this, clear, that is good. And whatever we enter in here and there and reset, that's good. Okay, now we need to try out delete. So I'm going to add, okay, let's do one thing. This is going to add excess, good. So now let's select this and click on delete. Yeah, that is gone. Okay, now the next thing we'll need to do is to take care of the print, this very one. Yeah, that's the last one left. And come right down here, double click on print. Just before I print, just before the print, let me check my database to confirm that the other data is deleted. So click on my access, that is it right there. Look at it, it's saying it's deleted. If I close that and reopen it, you see that that data is gone. So that's good. Alright, so we need to take care of print. Double click on print. But before we can print, I've left out two objects. Let's come into toolbox. I need the print document, this one, and I also need the print dialog, those two. Make sure you have them. Select the print preview dialog, go to the property of that, and right in here you see where we have document, select print document. Okay, now we can start working on the print. Double click on print button. If you notice at the beginning of this project, I actually declared private bitmap as bitmap, so I'm going to be using that for this printing. First of all, let's say dim height, let's say as integer. Okay, and that will be equals data grid view dot height. There. Now the data grid view dot height, that will be equals, copy that, paste that in here. Data grid view dot height equals data grid view row count dot row count. Yeah, that should be row count. Let's do that in uppercase. Row count, and we then multiply that by data grid view 1 dot row template. That should be row template there. Row template dot height. There. Get rid of this. That should be row count. Okay. Now let's say bitmap. A bitmap equals new bitmap. And that is going to be me dot data grid view width dot width, comma, me dot data grid view 1 dot height dot height. Right. And let's just speed that up. Seems to be a lot of coding in there. And right there, okay, those are the lines of codes. Okay, so that is fine. Now let's just put try in there. Try cache, and let's grab the cache up here. Where is it? Grab all of this here and bring it down here, paste it there, and get rid of that. This is just a print message error. Okay, that's fine. Now we now need to come in here. You see the print dialog, double click on that. In there, if you want, you can also use the try cache. So I'm going to just put try cache. I already have error message, so put my error message in there. Get rid of this, and in here let's declare as follows. No, let's say e.graphic, and that will be dot draw an image. We want draw image, and that is going to be for the bitmap at this coordinate 0 by 0 there. That is good. Now let's say dim rectangle p as integer, no, as rectangle, and that is going to be equals e dot page setting. Let's look for page setting dot print able area. Okay, and the rectangle, that should be rectangle F. Okay, that's gone. Now use an if statement. If me dot data grid view 1 dot height minus rectangle p dot height less than 0, then e dot has more page. That will be equals true then. And that's all. So that is my print. So we can try that out now. So save that, run. Let's see. We should be able to see the details in there. Only 2 we showed. Click on run. There we go. Look at that. So the print is working. Everything is working now. Now, one more thing. You see, when I click on here, I want this search function to disappear, or this search text to disappear. So I'm going to come right in there. Let's open up the form. Select that, go to the properties. And let's come into the event here. I want to use mouse enter and mouse leave. So let's see, mouse enter. Double click on that. When mouse enter, I want the following. txt search dot text, that will be equals clear. Okay, and I also want it to get focused. Paste that here. That's a dot focus. Yeah. Now I also want the color dot font color for color. I want it to be black. Color dot black. Okay, that takes care of that. So I also want when the mouse leaves. So let's come in here, select mouse leaves. Now, when the mouse leaves, I want to use an if statement. The if is empty, then I want the following. The text content in here, I want it to be, copy that, paste that in here. I want it to become search. There. And I also then want the text, the color, to become silver. So grab hold of this, paste color dot silver. There we go. And that's all there is to that. So when we run it now, run and see how that's going to work. Mouse enter. Enter whatever data you want to look for. So let's assume we want to look for Sally. Check this out. We have Sally's details in there. Okay, so that's fine. Now let's say we can search by name, we can search by surname, and we can search by student ID. Let's say we want to look for whoever has the following student ID 76845. Search. That's Tony Montana. So that's good. Now, so I'm going to call it the end of this project, but before I leave, let me just show you guys the code. Take it from the top. Those are that's the imported OLEDB, the declare variables, and declare variable for the bitmap. That's my function. And scroll right down, form load, bring it down, save. So that's for the save data, to save that data button. View button. The view, we just call the view function up there, and we have the updates button, and that is for data grid view. Search function. Okay, and bring it down, delete. Then we have reset, exit, and print. We have print in there, print button, print objects. Okay, and finally we have the search, text box. So let's run it one more time. Run. There we go, guys, and that is how you create your own Visual Basic .NET Access database connector. So here are the datas on my Access database. There they are. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. Please do subscribe to my channel. It helps a great deal when you guys are subscribed. And you can also join to become a member of the channel. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.